I would love for you to try some of these goodies.
Yeah.
Again, I wish I could have said I baked them, but I'm not as good as you are. These are from Ukrainian market.
Really?
Yes, and these are Ukrainian sweets.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Well, I'm gonna try this chocolate
Yes.
one first.
Yes,
'Cause chocolate
definitely.
is my jam.
definitely.
Yeah, I don't. It's funny. I wish I knew more about sweets from different cultures and different countries and regions, because I really don't know a lot about. Isn't that weird? Like you'd think, like dessert is like my thing, but I don't know. I wish I
Well,
knew more.
You probably have to work with like what the audience is asking, right?
Yeah.
And because other people also don't know about the other desserts out there, it becomes very limited, right? What you work with.
I know more about Japanese desserts because my ex-husband, my boy's dad, is half Japanese. His mom is from Okinawa. And when she and my ex-father-in-law met, he was in the service in the military, and he was stationed in Okinawa. She did not speak a lick of English, and he did not speak Japanese. So it was the language of love. And they got married. She moved to the States with him. She taught herself how to speak English watching TV.
Wow. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That is, how young was she, do you know, when she
Let's see. I mean, probably early 20s. Right? I mean, they were just a young married couple, and he was in the military, so he was kind of gone a lot. So he moved her back to this small town in Nebraska, of all places, because that's where he was from. But then he'd have to go when he was deployed. Wow. And she taught herself English by just watching TV.
Speaking from personal experience, like it's the fastest and the easiest way to learn a language is to get yourself into
immersion.
Yes, you have to get yourself into that space. Like,
did you know? I don't know if you knew this about me. When I went to the University of Wyoming and got my bachelor's degree, in German. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me more about it.
Ja, so ich spreche Deutsch.
Oh my gosh, that is so awesome.
Not fluently.
Okay.
Pretty conversationally. Like, if you dropped me somewhere and there was only German speakers, I'd be fine. I may not have deep conversations and make a whole lot of sense, but yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That is so awesome. I love that.
I wanted to be a teacher. And I am a teacher
You
now.
are a teacher.
Just not in that subject.
You are a teacher.
Yeah.
What kind of teaching were you envisioning for yourself?
I thought I would probably teach like a high school German class, something like that.
Okay.
Not like university level or anything, but yeah. Yeah. So I got a German major with an English minor. And my English minor was with an emphasis in literature. So it was brutal because when I got kind of into my like sophomore, junior year of college, then I was starting to get into the German literature courses, and that any given semester, I would have to read like 10 novels in English and like 10 novels in German.
Woo!
Like each semester, and then write papers on them. And I have to write papers in English and write papers in German. And then we'd have discussion in German. Yeah, it was...
Wow.
College was rough, especially because I tend to be a bit of a procrastinator.
You're probably way underestimating yourself, too, right now, saying you can speak a little bit German. If you had to read 10 novels and write papers on it, and, that is a lot.
The hardest course I took, because I was really fortunate to get an honors scholarship, so my college was paid for. And as being part of the honors program at University of Wyoming, if you took the scholarship, you were required to do a senior project. And it had to do with, pick something that's relevant to your major, and then you had to present your research project in front of the board, in order to fulfill your whatever. And so my advisor was, oh my gosh, I loved her so much. I swear she looked like she was about 100 years old. I'm not even joking.
That's great.
But she looked like she was 100 years old because she was a heavy cigarette smoker, like chain smoker. She had her office in the basement of one of the buildings in the languages building, and she had this like little fan thingy that was supposed to, I don't know, but I'd go to have my appointments with her, and she's like, "Do you mind if I smoke?" And I'm like, "It's fine," even though I was like, "Oh my God." Chain smoker. But she, we came up with the topic of, so I really like the story of Faust. And one of the most famous German writers and poets is Wolfgang Goethe. So Goethe's Faust, right? That's like the most famous. There's the Christopher Marlowe Faust and Goethe's Faust. So we came up with this idea of what would Faust think of modern Germany? Like, don't ask me what my conclusion was, because I do not remember. This was 1992. But I ended up going to Germany. So I've been to Germany twice. The first time I went my senior year of high school on a cultural exchange. So we would stay with a host family. So there was a group of us. I don't remember how many students went, maybe 10 kids. And we had a teacher chaperone that traveled with us. And then once we got to the little town we were doing the exchange in, we each stayed with a different family that had a kid our age. So we would go to school with the kids, but we weren't required to like do homework or participate, because most of us, like at that point, I had only had 1 year of high school German. I didn't know shit. I was like, huh. But I just made a really good connection with my host family from that time. And so the girl that was my age, she ended up coming the next year and visiting my family in Wyoming. And then she's like, "You should come back again to stay with us again." And so because I was doing this senior project, I'm like, well, I'm going to go do research in Germany. Basically, all we did was get drunk and party. But, but at that point, I was in my senior year of college. So when I went back that second time, I told her at the airport, "Wir sprechen nur Deutsch." Kein English, nur Deutsch. Because I was like, I have to immerse myself. And so that was rough, because it was like, I want so badly to just say in English what I'm trying to think of. But, I mean, you're right. You just, yeah. So by the way, I speak much better German when I'm tipsy.
It always works like that.
I don't know. I guess you're not worried and stuff just comes out and whatever. You say the word wrong, who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah. But, I think we traveled around, went to some different museums, and I went there because Faust is like a huge thing in Germany. So I don't know what my conclusion was. I can't even remember. But I did my presentation and graduated with honors, and there you go. But yeah, I figured I would do like high school language teacher kind of thing. And the reason I didn't end up doing that was kind of interesting. And again, I kind of feel like the universe was like, that's not your path. So at the University of Wyoming, when I went from 1988 until 1992 and graduated in 92. It used to be that you could get a bachelor's degree in, some other subject, and then they had the College of Education, which is where if you wanted to be a teacher, you'd just go through the College of Education. And then, if you wanted to be elementary education or middle school or whatever your specialty was. So it used to be you could get, like, say, okay, I'll get my 4-year German degree, and then I could just go to the College of Education and take and just do the core classes to be certified to teach. Mm-hmm. And then you have to do a student teaching experience like everyone else, and then you're a teacher and you can get hired. Well, right when I graduated with my bachelor's, mm-hmm. they had just changed the College of Education's program. They weren't doing that anymore. They changed it to what they called this phase program. So you couldn't just pick up the classes you needed and be certified and go teach. I literally would have had to have done like another 2 years to go. And I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm not going to do that. And so I was like, oh, shit, that was my plan. It's like, well, I could have. But then I thought, if I'm going to go back for another 2 years, I could get a master's in something. Or, I don't know. Yeah. I was just like, I literally thought it was going to be like a semester of courses and then a semester of my student teaching, like it used to be. Mm-hmm. And I'd be done, and then, see ya, I'm going to go work my job. So
it wasn't meant to be.
It was not meant to be. It was not meant to be. So
that is such a cool fact about you, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot of work. Like, learning language is a lot of work.
So let me ask you, did you go up learning English as well, or did you learn English as an adult?
Oh, see what these cookies do to us?
Right? What's in these?
Well, this is like also like my official breakfast of the day.
Oh my goodness!
So I'm like, oh, this is so good.
Food.
I came to United States with no English.
Like my old mother-in-law. Wow.
That was me. It was, I remember the uncomfortable, and like your first like just say like, hi, how are you? Mm-hmm. And or answering like I'm good, and you?
Yeah.
Because that's how they taught us by book. I'm good, and you?
Oh, yes.
It was like, I literally came here. It was like the capital of British. It was like, yeah, the language was very, very bad. But the incompetence piece mm-hmm. was so big. It was your insecurity and your own like doubts and your own like not trusting yourself was so powerful. Mm-hmm. I think that first probably week mm-hmm. just opening your mouth and saying something mm-hmm. it's just like so critical.
Yeah
And from there I was here. I was already in the environment, thrown into the situation where you have to go to a grocery store.
You sink or swim.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
mm-hmm.
figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband says that I learned pretty quickly. Like, he's like, in about a year, like, you're able to communicate.
Because it is so much harder to learn as an adult another language than when you're a kid. Because mm-hmm. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing, too, because do you speak any other languages besides your native tongue and English?
So I speak Ukrainian, Russian, and English.
Okay.
Ukrainian and Russian are different languages.
Okay.
There's some similarities.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of similarities.
Yeah.
And here's a fun fact, too. So Ukrainians, mm-hmm. even the ones who speak clear Ukrainian, and because there's certain parts of the country where we have dialects, yes, we have a mix. But even like the cleanest Ukrainian you can take, mm-hmm. people can understand the Russian-speaking people, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
If you'll take a Russian person and you start speaking back to them in Ukrainian,
they can't.
No.
That's interesting.
They'll understand certain words.
That's interesting because I can understand, like I can pick up at least the gist of a conversation mm-hmm. if I hear someone speaking Dutch. Mm. A lot of similarities. Mm-hmm. But then they speak German in Austria, mm-hmm. but it's such a different dialect.
Yes.
When I went the second time And I spent the whole summer there doing my research.
Research. I love that.
We took a little road trip and drove down to Salzburg. And I was like, oh, this is like so cool. So Salzburg is beautiful. And so we did a tour of one of the big castles. And when we got to the castle, you had a choice. You can take a tour with a tour guide who gives the tour in English, or you can do it in German. And my, nur Deutsch. I'm like, no, we're doing that one. I didn't understand a word that he said. Not a single word. And I remember looking at Corey, because she was my German host. And she was like, yeah, like Austrian German is difficult to understand. And I imagine it would be similar to like someone from, you know, the Pacific Northwest, like Washington or Oregon, then going to like the Deep South, like Alabama or something. And, you know, it's like, yeah, if you're native English speakers, like, yeah, you can understand what they're saying. Yeah. It sounds, you know, kind of goofy or different or whatever, but you can understand it. Whereas if you learned English, you know, textbook English, I don't think you would understand someone from the Deep South here. So I think that's kind of a similar thing. And then in Switzerland, they speak Swiss German. So it's kind of like, maybe like what you're saying, it's like its own kind of thing. So they call it Schweizerdeutsch. And I can't understand that at all.
It's true. Like, it's so true. Like, for me, well, a secret is sometimes I still don't understand what a person is saying. If I, like, missed a word, like, I can, like, miss the whole thing. Yeah. And it could be something that I simply didn't hear. Right. Or it could be a word that, like, I just don't know.
I don't know that word.
Right? And it's like, for the most part, you can figure out the contents. Right. You know, like, but sometimes you're like, okay, I totally missed it. Yeah. So I still, like, played the whole, like...
Yep. I know the worst is when you ask someone to repeat something and they repeat it 2 times and you still couldn't hear it, and then you just kind of like, it's that awkward moment of, do I admit that I don't know what they said? Do I just pretend like I did, or do I really say, I am so sorry, I cannot hear, you know, or whatever.
I had one of those actually on the phone recently, and she was from Australia.
Oh,
and she had like beautiful Australian accent. Just gorgeous. But boy, I was struggling, and I had to tell her maybe 4 times, and I was like, I'm still sorry, but I'm still not understanding. So sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So it's like you get like 2 not native speakers, you get 2 accents.
It's like, wait, do we speak any other languages in common?
No, for reals. And British sometimes can get, like, British English can get tricky for me too.
Yeah.
Like I can even think of somebody like from our networking group that I'm like, I need to get closer.
Yeah.
So I can like concentrate.
Yeah, really gotta soak it in.
Yeah, and like really like soak it in and process.
Yeah, my niece is married to a guy from Liverpool. Their accent is, I love their accent. It's funny. It's very funny. But sometimes he'll say stuff, and I'm like, what? But I know, I mean, they've been married forever, so I can be like, well, I can't understand what you're saying.
Like, you can just be open about it.
I could be open about it. But yeah, it's just I love languages, and even, I don't know. I think that's like kind of like my brain wiring, you know. Like even like my husband, computer programmer. It's languages, you know. It's different syntax rules for different types of code. I like that. He tells me all the time, he's like, you could have been a coder. And I'm like, I could have. There's all kinds of things that I feel like my brain would have, I feel like I would have made a really good paralegal. I don't want to be a lawyer, but I think I could be a really good paralegal. I think I could do computer programming. I could do that. Also, I would have made a fabulous 1950s housewife. Oh, oh my gosh.
That's great. I love that.
Are you kidding? Like, home, like, domestic goddess and the cookies and the pearls. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I totally see that.
Yes.
It'd be so cute.
Right?
That's so
And
cute.
the little apron. Oh,
I
my
love
gosh.
that.
Yeah.
I felt like today, like in an interview, like I forgot to ask you like most important question. Like, do you like sweets?
I do, if they're not overly sweet.
Okay.
And these are fabulous. because they're
Which
not.
one was your favorite?
I liked this.
Those ones,
like,
yeah.
butter cookie.
Yes, they're buttered. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are,
Those are
really good. So I have something else for you, though.
You do?
I
More
did.
gifts?
More gifts.
Oh my
So
gosh.
Ukrainian chocolate.
Oh my god. So chocolate is my one, like, I don't really eat my cake. I don't really eat my cookies except for my oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. Those are like crack. But chocolate is my jam. I am so excited to try Ukrainian
Yes,
chocolate.
please. I myself, I'm like you. I'm addicted to chocolate. I'm just gonna admit it.
Oh, chocolate and coffee.
It's just so good.
Cappuccino flavored, a nut praline, a yogurt filling, hazelnuts.
good.
Hazelnuts are one of my favorites. Delicate nut filling and almond. Oh, I will enjoy this. Thank you.
You're welcome.
How sweet.
Yeah, my husband like loves Ukrainian chocolate. Like he's not like a sweet tooth guy,
Yeah.
but he loves Ukrainian
Yeah.
chocolates. And
Yeah,
thinks
that
it's
is
high quality.
that's a funny question because I tell people all the time, I'm like, I don't really have much of a sweet tooth, which is so ironic.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
it's
that
probably a
helps you though.
Yeah, because if I did, oh my gosh, I would just eat everything all the time. My husband, however, oh my gosh, he's like the biggest sweet tooth. I'm like, do not touch this. It's my inventory. Because he'll just like, you gonna use the rest of that front? He'll literally just, my buttercream.
Yeah.
He's like, are you done with that? He'll just take a spoon. I'm like, he's psycho.
I would do that. Like I totally would do
Of course,
that.
my buttercream isn't super sweet. So, but he'll stick it on a cookie.
Oh,
or
that's so great.
He'll dip a
love it.
potato chip
I
in
love
it,
it.
which I do like salty and sweet.
I love it.
Yeah.
You know, like what's one of my like childhood memories would be, so we used a lot of the hand blenders. You know, like literally it was the two little.
Yep.
And the moment my grandma would down was making cakes, she'd literally give me the little.
Oh, lick the batter.
Lick
Yep.
the batter. That's like the best, the most favorite thing in the world.
I have that same memory from, yeah. Yep, I would always
love that.
lick the batter off the beaters. Lick the
Yeah.
beater, we would call it. Can I lick the beater?
You know what's funny though? Recently, right before my birthday, I was making a caramel waffle cake, which is it sounds fancy, but it's like super simple.
Oh,
'Cause
sounds good though.
Like, yeah, I wasn't like making my own waffles, like. Yeah. So it was like super simple, but I used like one of my KitchenAids, you know.
Yep.
And my grandma was like watching me do the thing, right? And at the end, it was like me giving grandma the bowl so she can.
so funny.
So she can actually have the whatever's
Because
left over was.
My mom is going to be 90 in May. Wow. Yeah. And so she lives in Wyoming. She's in an assisted living facility. But the last time, before she was in the assisted living facility, she lived with my CPA sister up in Wyoming. And when she would need, like if she needed to travel or just needed a break, you know, one of us other siblings would be like, oh, we'll take mom for a couple weeks or whatever. And I had that same moment where I was baking and my, almost 90-year-old mom was like, can I lick the beaters? And I was like, it's like full circle,
Yes,
right?
it is.
Yeah.
It is. Oh, it's very, very sweet moment. I probably will never forget it too.
Yeah. It's just those little
okay.
moments that just
Yeah.
stick with you.
Yeah,
I love
life.
it.
That's what makes life.
Yeah.